Okay, I can't stop thinking about it now. Early this morning, put up the Madam Web review, and I'm at work all day today. I run a movie theater, and far less people are coming to see it because of the reviews. Um, and those who have come to see it are like, "How is it?" And I was like, "We'll talk about it when the movie's over." And everyone who's come to see it has been like, "Holy shit, that was fucking terrible." Yeah, it was fucking terrible. And this is the thing I can't stop thinking about now. You've got Sony's fucking debacles of, playing Spider-Man cock tease, where they themselves optioned Spider-Man to Disney. Okay, they could have held on to it and done their own fucking thing, but they made that choice. But they're like, you know what we do have? We got Venom, which is great. Venom's a super fucking popular character. That should be the linchpin of your entire world. Madam Web, thinking about it, I was like, well, wait a minute. In the second Venom movie, they talked about like the hive mind thing. Well, wait a minute. Why wasn't she connected to that instead of the fucking shattered glass spirit in the lake ghost web thing? And then who's beating down the fucking door to see a Morbius solo movie or a fucking Craven the Hunter movie? These are not characters who work well on their own. The reason that they work in comics and in solo stories is because you have decades of fucking lore to build upon, and anybody who's in the store who's already a fan of those characters is going to pick that up and go, oh, okay, I like Craven's Last Hunt or whatever. But these solo things, and then it's like, well, we can't say Peter Parker, but we'll say it's a baby and his last name is Parker and there's a P sound. It's like, no, it's a fucking cock tease. It's all a fucking cock tease that you want to put Spider-Man in something, but you can't put Spider-Man in something because your own fucking choices. Because again, who the fuck is running movie studios? Like, I'm a fucking idiot, okay? I am a fucking 42-year-old movie theater district manager. I'm not tall, I'm not attractive, I'm not smart, but I sometimes think I know a little bit more about the general public than these fucking people who make billions of dollars a year to make these over-bloated movies that nobody fucking wants to see and give themselves raises, but then when they don't turn a fucking profit because they're spending too much money on nonsense, and then they go, oh, well, then we're just going to have to do it as a tax write-off. It's got to be the Acme versus Wile E. Coyote or Batgirl. You're telling me that Madam Web is more releasable in theaters than Batgirl. They reshot 90% of fucking Justice League, and you're telling me that the Zack Snyder's version is not better than the Joss Whedon version. Like, who are these fucking people? Little things, like recently marketing. There's no fucking standees and shit like that for movies like Wonka. Like, do you not want people to go to the movies? Movie studios fucking hate movie goers. And this is exactly what it is. Everything is a fucking tax write-off. You look at the end credits of Madam Web and you're like, how does something have that many people working on it to be like that? At no point along the road, like if you're doing something at your house and you look at it and you go, that doesn't look right. We should probably stop what we're doing before we get to the end and we fuck the whole thing up. Let's stop, let's take it back, let's take a step back and go, this isn't what's working, this isn't what's working, let's try this. Madam Web is a ghost of a movie. There is an idea there. There's an idea for what it could have been. I think originally I had like the idea of it was going to be like a Terminator type thing where like the vaguely Hispanic French guy travels back in time to kill Spider-Man's mom before she could be born, before Peter could be born, all that kind of stuff. Sure, great, better, fine, that's fine. But nobody cares. And again, I just said, like, oh, how do you have that many people? But you know what? It's that thing. There's too many fucking cooks in every kitchen. Stories are not being told by people who have a vision to tell a story. Stories are being told by a bunch of fucking out of touch people in a boardroom deciding on factors of art like you would people deciding the color of like oatmeal packaging. Like it's almost award worthy if you accidentally make a good movie. Like, Godzilla -1. You go like, okay, you took this huge IP that everyone knows and you told a story. That's fucking amazing, man. For everything that could go wrong, and even the little things I didn't like about that movie, it's a film, and it's a good film, and it tells a fucking story. It's not just a bunch of fucking things happen because things have to happen for it to be considered a movie. Sony doesn't care. You know, they clearly don't care. They keep trying to do this like it's the Spider-Man universe. Is it, you know, just write it off. Just write the fucking shit off. Do the Warner Brothers thing. Do the Zaslav thing. Just, it's a tax write-off. It's that's it. Your art is out the window. Even though the fact that, like, Acme versus Wile E. Coyote was written by James Gunn, who's taking over their DC Comics thing. All these people are like, oh my god, it's the best movie of its type since Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But they got to go the producer route. Like, we can make more money by just by not releasing it or making a bomb. And that's kind of what I feel like it is anymore. But, like, when does it get to the point where, like, the contempt that movie studios show for their audience, where, like, people who are high up are like, look, these people are fucking idiots. They want their Dune popcorn bucket that looks like a fuckhole, and they're so fucking stupid it doesn't matter what we put out, they'll go to see it. Well, what happens when people stop going to see it? Then what happens to movies? You know? And it's not even like me worrying about my own fucking job, like, of these buildings and shit like that. There's always going to be art films. You know, there's always going to be certain built-in IPs that people will go out for and stuff like that. But, like, not everybody wants to see the pretentious art film. Not everybody wants to see the Fast and the Furious 22. You know, like, we're getting to a point now where the comic book movie's dead. When the comic book movie goes, you know, what's filling that gap? And then on top of that, what's that going to do to the actual comic book industry? Which is another thing that I fucking love and care about. You know, people now, they don't know the difference between Disney and Marvel. They see, they see Marvel, like, and on the thing, and they go, oh, that must be like a Disney movie. No, it's a Sony movie. And Sony, because you continuously go, I don't fucking care what we make. Nobody fucking cares what we make. Shit it out on the fucking screen, and these fucking idiots will go buy it and get their large popcorn, and who fucking cares? Or we're going to sign these fucking actors up and then switch the script on them when they get there, and then they're stuck doing this thing that's going to hurt their career. And then people stop going to the movies because of it, which then hurts my career. Like, is no one at any point going to be like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? Like, stop. You know, you're killing cinema. You're killing the comic book publishers. You know, and someone at the top of the comic book things need to go back to having some fucking backbone and going like, no, we want some control over this shit. We want to be able to make sure that comics still exist. We want to make sure that Dakota Johnson can still get roles after this. You know, because granted, I think she's incredible in Peanut Butter Falcon and the Suspiria remake. I prefer the Suspiria remake to the original. I don't care what you guys say. I think it handles the elements of witchcraft by the dance being the spell, and the colors muted and all that stuff, I think way more interesting than Argento's version. But Argento's version is more bombastic and Technicolor and Fantastic-Oracle. That's not what we're talking about right now. What we're talking about right now is the fact that, like, I look at movies that are out right now. I look at movies that are coming out right now. And it's just a copy of a copy of a fucking copy of a fucking copy. You know, am I excited to see Star Wars, or am I excited to see Ghostbusters? Yeah, of course I'm excited to see Ghostbusters. You know, Godzilla versus King Kong looks so fucking stupid, but you know what? I hope it's fun. You know, I'm hoping it's fun. Dune 2, great. I'm excited to see Dune 2. First movie was a 2.5, 3 hour long trailer for a larger story. That's fine. It turned a bunch of people off. Hopefully they'll get back on board with this. Go watch the first one, not the David Lynch one, but the first one of this new one on HBO Max, and then get yourself caught up, and then let's go. Because again, like, the return of smart sci-fi is something that I want to see return. And I kind of feel like movie studios, like when they were doing kind of nihilistic, smarter sci-fi in the 1970s, and at the time when Lucas, Spielberg, De Palma, Coppola, Bogdanovich, all those guys were coming up, when New Hollywood was becoming a thing. They were all very much spawned from Roger Corman's school. You know, where's New Hollywood now? Where's the people who are saying, let's try these things, let's give people new ideas, and then let them be the judge of it? Instead, it's like, you know, there are no new ideas. It's all the same fucking thing over and over again. If you want something interesting, you got to go to TV or streaming. And then when it comes to streaming, everything gets released and nothing's special anymore because it all gets dropped on fucking Apple Plus and or Hulu or whatever. There's too many fucking services, and then you can't find it, and then it's nothing special anymore. Like, I don't know. Movie studios have contempt for their audience. I get so fucking angry because I love this stuff so much. And granted, there's been bad movies forever. You go all the way fucking back to the dawn of cinema. There's been cheap exploitation schlock just to give the audience a pickle tickle, Flick the bean on them a little bit. And now it's like, what do you have then? We're not gonna have like grindhouse movies. Yeah, you've got like Tubi and Wild Eye and Sci-Fi Channel and SRS Cinema and shit like that, who are making clickbait exploitation movies or meme movies and stuff like that. And that's fine, it's funny, but it's not a brand of cinema that's going to make any hay in changing things. It's just there to be the next iteration of, the Grindhouse movie becomes the shot on video movie, becomes the release straight to video movie, becomes the what we have now when it comes to the streaming sites and direct to the dollar bin thing at fucking Walmart. Like, cinema is continuing to follow the same trends that it always does, but the ones and zeros are so much more clear now of just how fucking little the people at the top give a shit about making anything of any merit or value anymore. And I'm talking mostly in the world of IPs and genre. As again, you're always going to have smart movies. You're always going to have, your art house films and shit like that. But, like, there's no reason that Indiana Jones costs as much money as it did to make, or any of these movies anymore. It's like, you're just fucking, the first thing I saw said, we watched Madam Web last night, was when the Marvel logo came up. I was like, just watch the money burn on screen. There's so many fucking other things you could probably do with that money. Now, occasionally, someone accidentally makes a good movie, or like, even like our standards, maybe that's the thing, our standards are so low now that something becomes passable just by not being a total fucking abortion, But there are some movies where I'm just like, at no point did they were watching dailies, did anyone just go like, maybe we shouldn't, maybe we bring in somebody who's like actually told a story before, and not the dude who wrote, we got the guy who wrote Morbius, who also wrote Dracula Untold. Yeah, let's put them in charge of this Madam Web movie that nobody gives a shit about. Like, even people who watched the Spider-Man cartoon in the 90s are like, I kind of remember those episodes. And if they do, they're like, wait, I thought she was an old lady from another dimension. Everything anymore is just such fucking bullshit. And this isn't me going like, things were better in my day, because they weren't. There was so much fucking garbage when I was a kid. But I guess it's like, there's a difference between fun garbage and garbage. And now all we're fucking getting is garbage, where you got a bunch of fucking people in a room going like, well, we have to hit these demographics and we have to click these boxes to make sure that there's a handicapped trans person of color in this movie, even though that's not really what the story entails. But we need to click every fucking box in order to be considered inclusive, even though you're not really inclusive because you're not trying to represent these people. You just want to fucking pat yourself on the back to say that you're doing something. Despite like Disney, it's like the South Park episode, like, put a chick in it, make her gay. Disney was so anti-gay for so long, like not letting gay couples into fucking Disney World and stuff like that, but now they want to appear as if they're progressive, and it's just like, I have people on who are gay, trans, whatever, and they're like, well, if I'm not going to be a character, if I'm just going to be a prop, then don't put me in there because I don't want to be a prop, If you're going to represent me, then actually represent me and my struggles. And hey, being trans is not the only thing that I am. I'm also a lot of other shit. It's not like dudes who do CrossFit or who have beards, where that's their entire personality. Like, you ever have like dudes who are super into their beards, like that's all they have, I don't know. It's just like, I don't understand movies anymore. I hate how like painfully obvious the politics are anymore of everything. I hate how painfully obvious that let's just burn money and who gives a fuck, you're still gonna go see it. Like, as an audience, we need to be like, you know what? No, we're not going to fucking go see it. And then you see these directors like the Jurassic Park guy recently who just dropped out because he's like, hey, how about we like actually tell a new story instead of hitting a hard release date? And the studio's like, no, nobody cares. It's going to have dinosaurs in it. Go fuck yourself. That's all you fucking need is these people who are going to see this movie. Like, I imagine that's how every board meeting goes. Like, stop trying to be an artist. Stop trying to tell stories or be interesting. These people back here who are going to see these movies, we as movie executives think they're fucking retarded, okay? Don't worry about it. They're looking for a dark place to text, to go on the TikTok. Don't worry about it, okay? You're going to throw an actor in there that they know, fuck them. And that's the thing that bothers me, is because that narrative is so much more clear now that there is no, like, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. The man behind the curtain's fucking whipped it open and he's like, ha ha, you guys are idiots and you already know it and give me all your money, you know? Like, I don't know, man. Like, every time you think that we've sunk to a level where we can't sink any further, we just keep sinking further. And Madam Web is just such a clear middle finger to anybody who gives a shit about movies or pop culture or anything like that. And again, it shouldn't bother me as much as it did, but there's nothing worse than being a bad movie than being a bland, boring, bad movie. You know, if you go the fucking route, Morbius is awful, all right? But Morbius is so, like, interestingly awful that I go, there's something about this that I can't look away from, like a fucking car accident, you know? But they don't care. Movie studios, you know, and shareholders and tax write-offs and, you know, again, we've got the fucking glory hole popcorn bucket. That's all you need. Just shut the fuck up for the glory hole popcorn bucket and take what we give you because we hate you. And if you like movies, you're a fucking retard. And that's kind of what I get from Hollywood anymore. And you wonder why people don't go to the movies anymore, why they stream everything, why they wait for things to come onto a streaming site, why they fucking pirate shit. And it's because if you're not going to give somebody a reason to plop down $20, of course they're going to fucking steal it. Like, or they're going to wait and not feed into that. Like, is movie studios' goal is to suffocate the movie theater out and just go direct to the streaming site, and then you got to sign up for 100 fucking different streaming sites in order to see what you want? You got, you know, Deadpool, and they're like, oh, well, those dudes from Loki are in it, so you got to watch Loki season 1 and 2 to understand what's going in Deadpool 3. And it's like, no, this is too fucking much. It's too fucking much, all this shit. I want to sit down, I want the lights to go down, I want to stick my hand in the popcorn fuck bucket, and I just wanted to watch a story for 2 hours and be entertained and leave and go, okay, that wasn't too bad. But no, we don't get that shit anymore. And if we do get it, it's super fucking rare. And we need to start commending people who, you know, who accidentally make a good fucking movie anymore. Because it's becoming rarer and rarer and rarer. And I think it's going to become worse and worse and worse as we go. Because again, it's the you know, and I don't want to be like the critical drinker guy where everything's gender politics or sexual politics or you know, race or whatever. Like, you know, everybody's mad because a black lady's doing something or whatever. I don't fucking care. I don't care if the person is a fucking one-legged unicorn frog monster. If they can write a good fucking story that I feel like I got my money's worth, then great. One more... God, you know, bless the one-legged unicorn frog monster people and their work in the field of cinema. You know, it's so frustrating. And again, I'm going to have a dead weekend in one of my screens this week because no one's coming to see this fucking movie because of word of mouth. And that shit has a ripple effect where it's like, you want to go see Madam Web? No. You want to go see Dune 2? I don't know. Like, there's been nothing good out at the movies for a while. And it fucking whisper down the lane and ruins everything down to it. And then it just makes you, as somebody who loves movies, and granted, I've seen how the fucking sausage is made. I know how backwards and fucked up the corporate structure is. I used to work for Screenwave Media, okay? I know how the media companies work. But it's just like, it's this matter of just like, nothing matters anymore. And they're not even trying to hide it anymore. That's the thing that drives me nuts. Is maybe I should be happy for that. Maybe I should be like, look, we've thrown away pretense. You know, I don't care. Do you care? Well, yeah, I do care because I still love movies. And I still want there to be good movies. And I still want people to push the envelope forward when it comes to storytelling and acting and all that shit. And not everything has to be a CGI fucking come in your face, Avatar 2 nonsense. Like, you could take things back sometimes. And people go, oh, well, Joker made a lot of money because it was different. Joker was Taxi Driver and fucking Last King of Comedy. This new one basically just looks like, it's cool. Oh, okay, it's a musical. Great, Lady Gaga's in it. Interesting. But if I really look at it, this is just Coppola's One for the Heart. With Joker and Harley Quinn in it, And One for the Heart is fine. It's got a great fucking soundtrack by Tom Waits and Crystal Gale. If you ever get a chance, check that out. Natasha Kinski, I believe, Klaus Kinski's daughter is in it. It basically ruined... That was the end of New Hollywood. That fucking killed New Hollywood. And then he was so beaten by it that he had to go do Godfather 3, and then we all know how Godfather 3 turned out. But I guess these things are in cycles, and I'm waiting for something to come around that is going to reinvigorate people's love for film again. And Barbie helped bring people back to the movies, but unfortunately it didn't make enough of a dent that people are going to continue to come back to the movies. So I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. This is me being old and cynical and all that shit. But like, I don't know where the future of mainstream cinema is, because when the comic book movie is dead, we're gonna go into the video game movie next. And sure, Mario Brothers was fun, but I don't know. People are like, well, I'd rather play it than sit and watch it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's why I don't ever understood people watching Let's Plays. I was like, why would you want to watch someone playing a video game? Why don't you just fucking play the video game? But again, I'm an old man. I don't know. I'm so confused anymore as to where we're going with film and Madam Web of all things, which I had no interest to see going in. Even the trailers, I was like, why are we doing this? And who asked for this? And again, it's just the studios going like, we think we know what people want. No, you don't. I go back to why I left the Water Tower Theater when all the memes, like the Morbin time memes were happening and shit. And I had this other, I had Everything Everywhere All at Once plugged in, and they made me drop it. And they're like, and I was like, why do you want me to get Morbius back? And like, all the kids online are talking about it. And I was like, they're making fun of it. You don't understand that they're not actually interested in this. They're making fun of it. It's a meme. It's that this is how kids are now, But no, they had that, and it made $42, and they had it playing like 6 times a day for 7 days. And it was at the end I was like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. It's people who have no clue where the market is making choices about the market, and no one in charge anymore is any good at anything. They don't know what people want. And then you have movies like, like I said, Godzilla -1 makes a ton of money, but it's foreign, okay? So that automatically turns people off. But the fact that it did make money just shows, okay, there is a market out there for people who want to see spectacle, but they want smart spectacle, or they want a fucking story, they want to feel something. That's why people go to the movies, is because I want to fucking feel something. I want to step away from the dumpster fucking fire that we live in as a world every fucking day and go, let me escape. But now it's just like they're smacking you over the fucking head with a message that may not line up with your fucking ideals, and they're giving you the most watered down, backwards fucking bullshit, and people are just gonna be like, I don't need to go to the movies anymore. I'm fine. And then you have me over here who's like, I got fucking holes in the bottom of my shoes, dude. Like, I'm trying to pay my fucking bills, and you motherfuckers who are making all this money, paying yourselves enormous salaries every year, and then fucking dropping movies because, oh, we didn't turn a profit this year. You didn't turn a profit because you're giving yourself all this fucking money, and you're making movies that nobody fucking wants to see. I'm angry. I'm very fucking angry, man. And it just comes down to the fact that, again, like, ever since I was a little fucking kid, the littlest little kid, I fell in love with movies. I fell in love with sitting in that theater, the lights going down, the projector flickering. When I was 16 years old, I got a job, my first theater, 1999, at the Marlton 8 movie theater. I begged and begged and begged to let them make me a projectionist. Finally became a projectionist. I got to work in the projection booth with my fucking hands on building films that, and knowing every time that I built a specific movie, it could be the movie that two assholes come to on a date, get married, have fucking kids. Or it's the movie that inspired somebody to go to fucking film school or something like that. Or it was a night I was going to run it for some friends. We had this great fucking night there or something like that. It always to me meant something. And keeping these old buildings in operation means something because of the sheer amount of memories these places hold for people. You know, or my own wanting to be a writer from going to these movies and stuff like that, and reading, even before the internet, reading every fucking thing I could about film. And I have all these bookshelves here of all these different fucking film books. And it's just like it means something to me. Cinema and film and even shitty bad movies, like all the stuff you see behind me here, like it still means something to me. But it's when the people who make the decisions of stuff, it means nothing to them. And when it means nothing to them, it's going to start to mean nothing to the people outside of that until these things that I love go away forever. And movies are the only fucking thing that keep me going. You know, the only thing that has never let me down has been, I could pop in a VHS or a DVD or a Blu-ray of something that I genuinely love, and it always brings me back to a place where things were okay. Ex-girlfriends abandoned me, ex-friends abandoned me, jobs abandoned me, all that shit. But like, you can always retreat to a place where it's warm and safe, and you know, that's something that they can't take away from you. And I just feel like more and more, like the world we live in, the nothing matters, everything's a fucking joke. You know, studios have no fucking clue what they're doing. Moviegoers don't really know what they want because they're not being given anything worth wanting, that it's all just fucking on life support. And that sucks. And that makes me, as an old man, go like, there's no fucking place for me anymore. And you wonder why I retreat to nostalgia. You wonder why so many fucking dudes my age are talking about the same 80s and 90s fucking bullshit. And you go, oh, you know, nostalgia is man's, Achilles heel. Yeah, it is, because it's the only thing we fucking understand anymore, you know. And wow, I sound like such a fucking whiny little piece of shit. But it makes me angry. It makes me angry as someone who loves cinema. It makes me angry as somebody who has a business that's fueled by cinema, to just be like, this is heading in a bad way, you know. And we need something to come in. We need, like, you know. Yet hair metal was like the same fucking shit over and over again. Then fucking Nirvana shows up and kicks it in the taint, and then we have something different. You know, you have, gangster rap comes out and just blows everything the fuck out of the water, and changes the DNA of things. I don't see anything in mainstream cinema that's going to do that anytime soon, because I don't believe that mainstream cinema is being given the opportunity to do that anymore. And when movie theaters go away, and when we get more movies like Madam Web, when Sony's like, who cares? Who fucking cares? It's going to make enough money on streaming, because anybody who didn't see it in the theater is going to be like, they're going to hear, oh, this movie was fucking terrible. They're going to watch it to make fun of it, and it's not going to matter anymore. Nothing matters anymore. Like, share, and subscribe. Or don't, because again, nothing matters.